And there we are. Well, more rested, another day. Hey, just old Steve, hi there. Let me see. We did some changes and on audio as well, so please some feedback if the noise cancelling, if that's okay. If the sound is well, audible. There we go. Let's see if I can change. Ja, lekker, dankjewel. Zal ik maar even maken. There we are. Change the name. Okay, now we have that one. The camera settings. Sound good. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Cheers. Because we have some noise in the background. A friend of mine is working on the straight engine. Maybe in a minute I can show you. With the I'll charge the GoPro and I'll be able to show you a bit more about using the straight engine. Ik dacht dat hij zou worden in ieder geval. Well, what do we have to do today? There we go. Hey Patien, hi there. No signal, we have to change that. Well, we have a new setup. Well, not real setup, but new settings. Just tweaked everything today. And now the audio must be crisper. And for tonight, there is a problem with this Omega Constellation Automatic. It's from a watchmaking friend of mine, and it's got a very low amplitude. I just love the pipe pen dial. Very nice example. Okay. I want to get rid of the logo capture. So. A border, no jar. And yeah, okay. So, in the back you see Owen, and in the other room, Ewout is busy with the straight engine. Rose engine. Thank you. And there is a huge difference. I'm charging my GoPro, so in a moment I'll be able to show you in the other room where Ewout is working on. Cole Villains, hi there. Nice that you joined. Oh, je staat hier. Oh nee, Peter staat weer naast. Je staat hier. Okay. Ik denk dat het nu 5 slagen zijn in plaats van 10 op het recept. Hey, wobbly cam. That is why it's called a wobbly cam.
Everybody getting seasick.
Hey, everybody's getting seasick. Hey, Bastiaan en John. Missie je wel hoor. Er kan nu gewoon ongestraft ABBA gedraaid worden. Dus
Nou.
we hebben een scheidsrechter nodig.
Ongestraft. Die periode is wel een beetje...
En Per, hi there. John zegt hallo Owen. Goedenavond.
Ja.
Oh, is nice. Hey Nico. Leuk dat jullie er zijn. Ondertussen wordt het hier een beetje rot weer. Maar we gaan lekker door met waar we mee bezig zijn. Zo. Ik heb een for tonight. This Omega constellation, and there's a problem with it. Keeps very low amplitude. Yeah, it's an in-between stream, Sean. Just to get in the hours for a partner status for Twitch, and so we're streaming a bit more. Nothing's going to change for the Tuesday stream. Tuesday, but now we're going to do some more in-between streamings. Hey René, het is inderdaad goed weer om te gaan twitchen of wat de erfenis te verdelen. Wow. So there is something in here why it's a very low amplitude. So yesterday I did a stream and I was so dead tired. I showed some clips because yeah. Well, for the people who just joined, my name is Carl Slaap and I'm a watchmaker here in the Netherlands. If you have any questions, please let me know. And as you probably know, the serial number of an Omega watch, the first 2 numbers, so 16, is a code for the production year. So if we check the numbers, we see here the first 2 numbers of the serial number. You see here 16 and here yeah, here the start with 16 is a 1958 model. It's simply, if you Google Omega production numbers, then you get this. There we are. Starting in 1894, and this is well, 1998. That's a nice reference. And you have to be careful, especially for the client, because it's the production date of the movement, and it's not the year somebody might have bought the watch. Especially in just after the moon landing, you see there's been a huge production of movements, and so a lot of movements have been produced in '69, but can easily be that they're sold in 1971, 72. But a nice reference. So a 1958 movement. Even kijken. There we go. Okay. First, I'll remove the rotor. I really do love movements from this era. It's just elegant design, beautiful swan neck, fine regulator. Oh yeah, in '69 they really got it very busy. This is an interesting construction, different than we're used to. And as you probably know, these are the timing pins, and I will show you a bit more about this swan neck construction and why it is, because that's that simple. But first I'll remove this plate, and this one secures the complete rotor. But first, there we go, different camera position. That must have been impressive, just told Steve, especially in that age. Hey Rob, leuk dat je erbij bent, man. It is a great brand, yeah. You probably all know, this is the camera, and now you're watching with me inside the watch movement. And we can look into great detail. Well, You can even see they should have sharpened their mill before they did the number. You can really see the grain in the metal. Cool. Hey Raoul! Lang niet gezien. I think you're going to like this model. Back to the other camera. I know you are going to love this model. Because there we are. It's the Constellation pie pan from 1958 we just saw. Hey Tiran, hi there. You've seen specks of earlier moisture. Connie, thought you would like it, Raoul. And you can see some discoloration here, so it has got some moisture. It's from another watchmaker, a friend of mine, and he wanted to have a look because it's got very low amplitude. So I thought it was nice together with you guys to look for the cause, the root cause, what's going on inside, why the watch hasn't got the good amplitude we would like for it. John, heb jij... Even kijken. Die al gezien? You've got a Dutch counterpart 10-2. Okay. It's the 505 movement, Tiran. There we go. You see, 505 caliber. Really do like this. Such a nice design. Narcissus, hey, good evening. We've got an Omega from 2006. Okay, very easy to look up with when you search for Omega production code on Google, and you find it immediately. Just the two numbers, except for the very early series, but you know that immediately. Then it's only the first number. First thing I see is the pivot for the rotor. Is it very greasy or a bit of misformed, disformed? What is it? Oh, just a lot of grease. I'm going to remove the rotor first. Hey, look at this. What is this? Oh, that's so unnecessary. Just use a bit of pegwood if you want to see if the rotor is working. Somebody simply used his tweezer or screwdriver to do this, to check. Here, see that?
Yeah.
Just use a piece of wood or... Well, if we simply remove this plate. This plate here, that secures the rotor over its pivot. So not a real intricate design, but pretty bulletproof. It's nice. No, it doesn't take any force to make those marks, narcosis. It's just carelessness. Yeah. And just simply unnecessary. Not too much play in the rotor axle horloge hobby. Nee, Rob. There we go. Hier is. Is the amplitude for a given watch defined? Oh, that's interesting. Raoul, maybe you can answer second time Norway question about the amplitude. Ja, ik zag hem. Heb je eventjes nodig? Doe even zo. Lekker buiten beeld. Kun je even zoeken.
Maar je mag zachter, maar wat zeggen.
Ik hoor hem vooral.
Ja.
As you can see here, this is the small plate that secures the rotor. Yeah. And in this slot in here. So very simple design. Okay. Perfect opgelost zo, Owen. Ging goed. So let's get rid of some of the grease, but it is a lot. Solar Fun, hi there. Nice to see you again. Did you repair the pin or was bent by the screw of the other one? Oh, no, not yet. Yesterday I tried working on that Lonco watch, and when I started streaming, I think I was around 15 hours already busy in watchmaking. So no, I opened the Inca block spring just to place back the shock system, and the Inca spring came loose, and I thought, well, that's it. I was just too tired. So no, I didn't do any work on the Lonco yet, no. But we are going to polish. It sounds seedy, but we're going to polish the pivot with the tool we have here, and because it's mushroom shaped like this, this tip we're going to polish back so it's nice and straight. And I'll make a small drawing. Yeah, I think I'm going to stream the complete repair because of that Lonco, because it already takes so long. Now we're going to finish it, and especially that it's had such an interesting cause of that problem. Why that specific pivot was so disformed and couldn't get out of the jewel. It was so interesting. And then that we found the particular screw that screwed up. So that was nice. yeah, just one little screw mix up and a whole different problems just yeah, arise. It was really interesting.
Too long screw?
Yeah.
Am I in the wrong place?
Yeah. Too long screw to secure the rotor on top of the center second sweep second, and that really misshaped the pivot.
Yeah.
So I couldn't remove the pivot out of the jewel.
Okay. It was
That was interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
That was really interesting. Hey Makaya, hi there. The problem, we are looking for the source of a problem why this particular watch hasn't got enough amplitude. So I want to strip down as much as possible till we get to the core timepiece. Just the mainspring, gear train, escapement and balance. So I'm going to remove the automatic module first. That's that baby here. So we eliminate all possible influences of the movement. I don't know when it was serviced. Hey Edwin, goedenavond. Ik heb vandaag al 2 keer een tukkie gedaan hoor. Vanavond. Ah, that's nice. Even kijken. Even kijken. So there we go. So I'm going to remove this automatic module to eliminate most influences for the basic movements. And then we can check whatever can cause the lack of amplitude. And I'm charging the GoPro now, and Ewout, dear friend of mine, came to explain solar navigation and at sea. Because I have to, for the special on Sunday for the marine chronometers, and he explained the workings of a sextant and how to see what your position is at sea. And he's using the Rose engine at the moment to make guilloche. So I'm charging the GoPro, and in a moment I will show you the guilloche machine, and you can see Ewout working on it. Very, very nice. A bit too small. tiny bit magnetic, but hey, Eric, Rose Shop, Rose Engine time, yeah. Well, maybe tomorrow I can do a full Rose Engine stream. My daughter is coming over, and maybe I can do a Rose Engine stream. It would be nice. Oh, you bought a ticket for the show on Sunday. Oh. I know it's very inexpensive, like in no euros. But Sunday at 3 o'clock, coming Sunday, the 3rd of May, 3 o'clock Amsterdam time, it is going to be a special stream about marine chronometers and John Harrison, and it is very nice. Hey, succes John, hoop dat het lukt. Cool. Just a bit of tension on the tiny bit of power on the crown. So it releases the automatic module. A nice sturdy tweezer. And as you can see, well, I'm holding it on the steel pivot, the axle, so not actually touching the surface of the automatic module. So the only thing now left is a look at the balance spring. We might have already one possible. Just doesn't seem to breathe. Or is it just me being silly? Oh, might be the camera, yeah. Might be a camera angle, yeah. And I wonder what this is there, but that's cannot be a solution. But we have to check the balance spring. First, I'm going to demagnetize. No, first things first, I really would love to see the play in the ratchet wheel. That's such a common problem. Oh, that's the, yeah. That's a lot of play. Semiyaya, hi there. Thank you for following. This is a bit too much. So this camera has got its own I think still the balance wheel is a suspect. The balance spring, I think it's a bit, it isn't level. On, yeah, he is dipping on upside. No, why I can't. It's lower on this side here. Yeah, and there's something going on this side. I'm pointing with the multifunctional whiteboard tool. There we go. So I'm going to take out, oh, and here the stud is very high in the stud holder. Usually that should be level. So I think they are compensating with the height of the stud. There's the end of the balance spring. That is it attached. And I think that's too high. And then it's dipping on the other side. So there must be something wrong there. But I'll disassemble and we'll see what's going on. And this is not to my liking. Just strange. Well, plenty to discover. That's very good. And then the end shake and the side shake of the main barrel is excellent. So I don't expect that to be a problem. Ja, ik kom helemaal afzeiken, kijk. Ja. Ewout, he's working on the Rose engine. And it's his first try. So I'm going to be gentle. Something went wrong in his design, so let's see. And in a moment I will show you with the GoPro how to work on the straight engine, Rose engine. Such a problem when you have got too many gears machines. I see what you mean, Raoul. The click spring, but it's got an extra curl, so not all of the click spring is exposed, so it should be okay that it's still in there. Zie je fout, Ewout? De eerste 3, 4 keer ging je goed en daarna ging je fout.
Ja.
Well, that's Ewout. And this is his work. And it went horribly wrong. Because there's a difference in... Hier ging je goed. Nee, ging ook niet goed. It's hard to see because the original plate has got grooves. But here went zo, nee. Kijk, daar zit een kruispunt.
Ja, er zit een kleine spring in.
Ja.
Een paar keer en dan wordt hij in plaats van...
Hier heb je wel perfect je barleycorn.
Ja.
Interessant.
Ja, dat is de machine.
Something went wrong with the machine. Well, it's a beautiful first try, that's true. But we were trying to get this barleycorn straight, and between this one and that one, that's okay. Here, this.
Yeah.
I'll get some other pieces.
Dit zou eruit moeten komen bij hier, ja.
Yeah, this is the barleycorn shape. And you see, it's just like Ewout's. Here's the... Hey, it's not... You can see, die hobbel is tegenovergesteld aan die onderste hobbel. See if I can try all the different... It's a lovely machine. Oh, Fluffy Unicorn, hi there. If we see in more detail, we see what is going on. Here. You see, it's a barleycorn. Here is just one wave with one rose. En dan, maar deze is dus wel ritsrats en daarna draaien.
Ja.
Want anders zou die meteen tegenovergesteld zijn. Zou dit geultje hetzelfde zijn als dat geultje.
Ja.
Dus hier zit nog een ritsrats tussen. 1 cirkel, 10 keer draaien. Dus misschien voor jou is 1 keer een half. Dan moet je even kijken hoe je uitkomt.
Ja.
Maar met 2 geultjes weet je dat al.
Ja, ik probeer wel.
En dit is dus rond, 10 keer draaien, ritsrats. Misschien wel 2 keer ritsrats.
Ja, ik volg jouw recept. Dus,
Ja. Here you can see it's an optical illusion. I think it's called Fibonacci code. And it's the gulden snede. De gulden snede? Gouden snede?
Oh.
Oh.
I don't have that translation.
Famous drawing.
nou.
Ja, oké. Doe zo. Okay. Fibonacci code is this. Or Fibonacci. Fibonacci, thank you so much, Per. That's it. That is, if I'm not mistaken, this one. I think I'm close, Per, right? Fibonacci. That everything, it's the shape of your earlobe. It's in plants. It's the golden. Golden ratio, coaxial, yeah. And same here. If you look at it, it is yeah. It seems it's spherical. You see? It's actually solved. You see the going like this. You see this shape appearing in here, but it's an optical illusion because it's every single time. Moet ik het goed zeggen? It's built up like this, like a rice grain. And because of the, I have to say, good Fibonacci, the optical illusion is that this is one line, and it isn't. Elm Shop, I have blind faith in your judgment. The Tool song Lateralis. But this is the optical illusion. It's just small bows.
Een soort van sinus en dan de cosinus bij wijze van spreken.
Ja, ja. And you can see it here. The lines don't cross. You see? It's just from the outside inwards, one line. Then they changed the direction of the wave and then the next wave. And that's the optical illusion of the Fibonacci code. And I will show you the machine that can make this in a moment. Dus als jij 1 keer gewoon zo'n hobbeltje maakt, daarna draai je of dus de 10 keer die je nu gedaan hebt, of 20, dan kan je kijken of die zo uitkomt. Ja. En dan kan je dus 1 of 2 ritsratsen tussen doen. Ja. Dan weet je in ieder geval of het klopt. Ja. Hey Pura, hi there. No deception. And the ultimate interesting machine is the Rose engine. And I'll show you guys in a minute. In the meantime, we're working on an Omega constellation. Yeah, each row is the same height as the last. Yeah, it's true. So the bellum spring is a bit suspect. More coffee. With the stud is a bit too high. I think the spring itself is a bit sidewards, and there was something wrong, well, strange, I don't know if it's wrong, something strange with this I'm going to second Per. A very nice guy from Poland, Pavel. He's very interested as well, and he's coming over to do the course in engine turning. Let's see what is going on here. Well, it seems a bit strange, this ratchet wheel, but in no way it can cause a lack of amplitude. Okay, if it wasn't functioning at all, you won't have any amplitude. But for the rest, it just seems okay. But if I see if I can sandwich a bit more so that the play is gone. I use the carbon tipped tweezers, not to make any scratches on the metal. Yeah. There's some play, but there's no problem with that ratchet wheel. It's like a double ratchet wheel. And I haven't used it that long. There's no real need to do that. Then I would like to remove the balance and the pallet fork. See if it's any good. As a self-confessed pallet fork fetishist, in the pallet fork you see the level of attention to detail. We saw some beautiful movements with gorgeous pallet forks, and underneath the pallet fork it was just horrible. So for us that's proof of the pudding. Because now I would like to see how freely the movement is running. No, the lockdown hasn't messed up your days, is a myth. I'm doing some in-between streams to get some more hours in to obtain the partner status for Twitch. So nothing's going to change for the Tuesday stream, but these are just in-between streams. It's the 505 caliber. Yeah, very close narcissus. So, swan neck, everything can stay in place. You can see here, somebody tried to lift up the bridge from this side. You can see I think it's a mark. Yeah, and it's just a mark in the metal. There. But if you lift it from here, you don't leave any marks. Well, I think it's just a bit of experience. And carbon-based tips. lift up the let's have a look at the balance wheel in a moment. First, Raoul, you just mentioned the ratchet spring, the click spring, but you see it's exposed here, but then it goes underneath the click up till here. So I understand why you think this is a lot of risk, but it goes underneath the click here, so that's okay. Well spotted. And I would like to see what this is. It just seems old lubrication. Yeah, it is. It is very hardened grease, I think. Yeah, very hard. Here, another drop. This is caused by a cleaning solution that is got too much suspension in. So the old oil isn't dissolved anymore in the cleaning agent. Yeah, it's a dingy screw. Yeah. Use a bit of pegwood. It's very hard. Well, I've removed the ratchet wheel, so there is no force on the gear train here. So if I remove the pallet fork, the escape wheel won't move. The staining is, when it was cleaned, there was too much old oil in the cleaning agent, so that didn't dissolve anymore. Oh, you can see here, not just the screws. To place the pallet fork bridge back and to push it, they use their tweezer, this steel tweezer. Die kan je wel vinden. Instead of just some pegwood or a softer material. We are looking at the movement now with perfect LED ring light through a microscope at a movement which is from 1985. No, 58, sorry. To be honest, it would be strange not to see any marks. But then again, in the modern way of working, we just know it's unnecessary. But then again, up till, well, not too long ago, and most watchmakers still use just this, and then markings like this are hardly visible. So we are looking unrealistically to a watch movement. You have to bear that in mind, especially when it's from 1958. But simply, if you lift it now with the carbon tipped, That's so much softer than the brass of the part. Hey, Mr. Axis, you don't make any marks. And here around the pivot, you see some residue of the a cleaning agent. Oh, nicely oiled. Well done. Yeah, Rob, Horloge Hobby, brass tweezers, we have them here, is an excellent choice, or even nickel. That's some softer material. I just like the carbon tipped, because there's a bit. Oh, it's a myth, thank you. Oh, 500 bits. Oh, that really makes the stream possible. Thank you. It's so nice. And there's what I think. These are carbon tipped tweezers, and when you apply some force, you see, they don't bend too much. So they're quite sturdy without scratching. And if I use brass tweezers, or they're just lump, way too big, and for me, I just like these, but whatever floats your boat. Brass tweezers are just as good as what I'm using, and if you're feeling more confident using them tools, they're even better, because yeah, whatever tools you use which give you an excellent result are per definition the best tools for you. Don't let somebody else tells you what to use. It's the end result what counts, and what you feeling comfortable with is for you the best tools. If you can repair this Omega with a power drill with an excellent result, please use a power drill, as long as there's an excellent result. They are beautiful curves. Oh, yesterday we got a pocket watch. Mr. Axis, you are referring to the beautiful curves on the bridges, and I'm very prone to that. I think we can get it from the safe. A beautiful pocket watch with a Helvetia military pocket watch from, I think, 44. It's gorgeous, so I will get it in a minute. See what Ewout is up to, and maybe place a camera on his work. I'll show you a small clip of the Rose engine and what it can do, and it just goes by in a flash, but please pay attention to the second hand in this clip. Maybe you've seen it before, but it's got a really interesting milling around the small second hands. It's beautiful. So back in a second. very short clip, sorry about that. I just got a GoPro and some HDMI cable. So we'll be able to show you the Rose engine. And Ewout just did a test. This is just a single line. And you can see under the microscope we have to polish the cutter again.
Oh ja. Ja.
But it's about the, you can see.
Dit is inderdaad net vlechtwerk.
Ja.
Oh, ja.
This is 5 twists. Die. Nee, hij komt toch net niet uit, Ewout?
Nee.
Nee, het is geen.
Maar ook bij de eerste niet.
Is dit wel de 8e rozet? Gaan we nog een keer kijken.
Sorry.
So, he's working out the pattern and in a moment, hey Armazie. Dat is wel heftig.
Iets minder druk op de buiten.
Ja, iets minder druk op de buiten. Dit klinkt echt wel heel erg.
Blijft ook inderdaad.
So, we're just changing the settings for the Rosen. Do you pick up the sound in the background or not? A bit grinding sound. Please some feedback on the audio if there's in the background some grinding sound audible. Because we changed today the audio settings, it should be more, should be better, and we've got noise cancelling for that Zoom we had just a couple of days ago. Sound like a grinding wheel, yeah. It's a quite hefty sound anyway. Oh well. I removed the pallet fork, hey, which has got some oil in it. Which isn't beneficial for the amplitude anyway. Oh, dankjewel Rob. Let's say it's an unexperienced watchmaker who lubricates this pivot. And I'll be nice. Hey Vegasera, hi there. Nice to see you again. Well, this is an amplitude killer if you lubricate the pivot of the pallet fork. Before I forget, I'm going to rinse the pellet fork in alcohol just to get rid of the lubrication on the pivots.
Gaan ze een dik?
Nee, gewoon olie gegeven.
Ja, ja.
Oh, op die manier. Ja. Nou, laat ik aardig zijn en unexperienced.
Ja.
It's in alcohol, so I'm not going to leave it too long because shellac, which holds the pellet joules, dissolves in alcohol, but especially in alcohol with a higher temperature, so it doesn't go too fast, the dissolving. There we go. I say alcohol, it's hyperpropyl, and very nice alcohol for degreasing, and it doesn't leave residue, and that's nice. And the pellet fork bridge, rinse it again. There's no need to put it through the cleaning machine. Now you're all here. As you know, I'm preparing a very special stream for coming Sunday, the 3rd of May, on 3 o'clock Amsterdam time. What can be an idea how to invite people or let it know? I am trying to make a Discord server, but I'm not sure if it's up and running before Sunday. How can we get some attention for that? Of course, I'll do a shout out on Insta, but have you any ideas? Elder Goth, nice to see your name here in the chat. Narcissus, no, there's not a jewel at every pivot point. In higher quality movements there is, not on every, but say here you can see, I think it's a bronze ring, I presume, because this pivot is steel and there's a bronze ring, and that's another, and because it's very slow moving but with a lot of force, the biggest force, because it's the pivot from the main barrel. So here will a steel or a bronze bearing will suffice. I just did a test, just a bit of pegwood, and if I move here the main barrel, always be very careful not to use steel or anything, because you don't want to bend these teeth. Reddit, I have to confess, I am really not that familiar with Reddit, but if somebody can do a shout out, that would be so nice. Now to do an end-to-end test, I'm pushing the teeth here of this main barrel, is underneath here, and we look at the escape wheel, and then we have an end-to-end test of the complete, well, movement or gear train. So if it seems to react even with the slightest movement here, the escape wheel is moving. So the end-to-end test for main barrel and escape wheel seems pretty okay. And I always love to do this test and then look at the small pivots in the gear train, because if the pivots are very worn, you'll see this, especially if they're mushroom shaped or wrong size jewel, anything can happen. So if I move the wheel back and forth, there you see some slight motion in the pivot. It's not too much, but now you know why I do this small test. Yeah, not too bad. So to me, the gear train seems okay. Do some tweets. I'm really not in Twitter. But I'll do it on Insta and Facebook anyway. I'm more familiar with that. If somebody can do a shout out on some other platforms, that would be very nice. Sunday the 3rd at 3 o'clock Amsterdam time. And I'm doing my homework for days now. Ewout is, well, a friend of mine for the past 30 years. Cannot get rid of him. And he knew me when I had hair. Quite some time ago. He's a pilot.
I saw a picture once.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, he's an ex-pilot, and pilot is the
Ships.
navigation on ships in ports and sea lanes, I think. And he is advising the captain how to navigate. So for navigation and seafaring, and he's an what do you call it? Maritime officer?
Yeah,
Former merchant navy officer. So he knows a lot about navigation, and as a sea chronometer, as designed by John Harrison, is a measurement tool to find the longitude at sea. It's infinitely fascinating how it works, why it was discovered, how it was discovered. And so he told me a bit more about using a sextant and how to find your latitude and longitude. Yeah. Danger engaged. Hi there. So for this one, the gear train seems okay. So oh, look at this. I didn't see it. Did you see that? Do need an oil spill emoji. Why is there so much oil here? is no need for lubrication here. Interesting, but yeah. Here I use a swipe stick there to remove the excess oil, because yeah, it shouldn't be there. Zullen we dat zien, Abba?
Sean is al weg hoor.
Oh, Sean is weg, ja.
Ja, mazzel.
Je hebt mazzel, Sean.
Anders was ik gaan gillen. Escape.
Yeah. 10 to 2 is very busy because we have here Abba in the background. There we go. Well, so far so good. Hardly any play in the arbor for the barrel. Maybe the barrel itself. That could be. Ah. Well. Trouble in paradise. You can see here the main barrel is kind of huge wheel, and it's going just underneath this wheel here. Do you see that? I think we found a problem. There we are. So that's the main barrel, and here you can see the spoke of the center wheel or sweep second. And if I move the other side of the barrel, we found the problem of the lack of amplitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you agree? Do you see it? Hier. We kijken nu hier naar de spaak van de sweep second. En dit is natuurlijk de...
Die ligt op de grond. Ja.
En if ik beweeg...
Die ligt op de 4 ton.
Ja.
4 ton is omhoog gekanteld.
Ja, dit is een 4 ton de beweging erin.
Hier ook een klein
Ja.
beetje. Ja, hij ligt hem inderdaad, hij ligt hem er vlak tegenaan.
Ja. You see here? I think he's even touching the wheel. So that's it. And the interesting bit is we did an end-to-end test from the main barrel to the escape wheel, just by rotation, and the full gear train functioned nicely. But now there is no force on the main barrel with the big spring in it where all the power from the movement comes from. So if you wind it, the main barrel will go when the force is on it, and then it gets stuck. It might be I think, Tiran, you're referring to this coloration here. and on the teeth of the barrel. It might be the shiny bit here. So if we restore just the main barrel, make it solid again, so there's no play like this, I think the problem is solved. Well, this possible problem is solved, but because we always have to assume there are more problems possible. When you fix or find a solution for one thing, there's no guarantee the complete movement will run perfectly, because there are so many other things possible wrong. And then you have to do another end-to-end test and see how it reacts. That's result. Now I'm going to check if the GoPro is working, and oh, Tiran, yeah, that's it. One problem can definitely hide another problem. We leave this. We go continue with this in a second. Take out the barrel and see if there's play in the arbor in the main barrel. And first now I would like to show you a bit of the rest of the workshop and AWOUT using the Rose engine. Oh, oké. Nou, dan heb je in ieder geval misschien 2 of 3 pixels nodig. Ja, cool. I'm not sure if you pick up the sound when we're there, so let's try anyway. Because that is die. I covered the movement so no dust can enter, and we are going to clean these parts anyway, so they are safe. Yeah. And we use that one. I think I'm going to do tomorrow a full stream on guillotine, on using the Rose engine. And presto. Ha ha ha. we are mobile. So maybe no mic, but I can show you a bit around the workshop, and I will show you what Owen is working on. It's a 7750 movement. 7750 chronograph in a Breitling movement holder.
Zeno was Basel.
Yeah.
Just a regular maintenance service.
Yeah.
So getting back together.
Right. Especially placing the hands and the fine setting of the chronograph. That's well, a bit of a challenge every time with the 7750, and so that's a Zeno watch. We do some teaching as well, and that's over there. I will show you the benches for students, and then this is of course when somebody else drops something on the floor, because I never ever do. Always happens, and well, it can happen anyway. And then I will show you the Rose engine. And because we are going to build our own movement and complete watch this year here, we have some very heavy tools, like the huge drill Fat Bertha, and we're going to make our own main plates. Well, every single part of a watch we're going to make ourselves here in the coming year, and so we got some heavy machinery as well. There's the gear cutting machine. That is this one. That is Fat Bertha, a huge drill. Projection, the Akaton machine for, how do you call it? Sliper? Or grinder.
Yeah.
And here we have three engine turning machines. Ewout is here working on the Rose engine. That's a straight engine from 1928. And there's another engine, a bit like a Rose engine, but a bit different. And those two are from 1944. There is a Habeger lathe, and there in the corner is another lathe. And here are the benches for students. zien op het scherm, Ewart, wat er gebeurt.
Oh, we hebben no signal.
Sorry?
No signal.
Oh, signal. Goed.
Op, de,
Ja.
op je grote beeld. Je hebt alleen je dinges.
Oh, oké, sorry, we do that again. There we are.
Ja, ik hou hem even in de gaten.
Ja, graag.
Als je de lamp even uitzet misschien, want je hebt nu echt zo'n te veel licht erop, zeg maar. Hij is overbelicht. Alleen maar, nu krijgen we wat beeld. Je hebt wel heel veel glans van het licht nog erop.
Oké.
Ja, zo krijg je echt...
Oké.
iets lager met je camera. Je zit helemaal... Juist. Hij heeft sowieso, want al je lampen, die lampen geeft hij ook echt als een... Zelfs die lampjes boven de tafels, dat zijn helemaal flikkeringen en... Daar pakt heel veel licht op.
Well, for tomorrow I'll do a stream about with proper camera settings about the Rose engine. I think that would be nice to see something else than the usual watchmaking. Well, there was a tour. It's not a big workshop, but we've got all the toys we want. Well, some more. There's another decal. Oh, Tiran, thank you for the bits. Cool. Tomorrow I'll try to decorate an old pocket watch movement. See if that is going to work. Thank you, Tiran, for the bits. And so yeah, I think it's going to be an we'll say around the same time as now, from 8:30. Yeah, let's say tomorrow 8:30. I'll try to start the transmission for the Rose engine. So yeah, tomorrow something else. Okay, now we know the balance wheel is a suspect. Well, interesting narcosis. Are we going to selling the watches we make? The production of the complete watch, so everything in-house, is going to be educational with the team instead of full commercial. So we've got some exciting ideas. It's going to be a watch with a small trick in it. And we're going to try, and Edwin, Wai here in the chat, and of course Raoul here in the chat. They're going to be hugely influential in making the parts and the watch. So it's not going to be a full production of commercial watches, but we have some ideas how we can get our horological ideas and to make them. So first we want to make a movement completely by hand, everything done with conventional machines, nothing CNC, no computers, because I like to train watchmakers and no computer programmers. And that's why we have the vintage tooling here. If you master them, you master the complete process, and you're not just programming machines. So, but it is going to be a watch with a nice surprise. That I can promise. Well, the complete gear train is okay. So I don't want to do a full revision on this watch, especially because it's from a watchmaker. So I only want to restore the main barrel. But to remove this plate, you can see here we cannot simply remove this plate without compromising this wheel. So first I want to take out this plate, remove that wheel, and then we can safely remove this plate because this goes underneath. And there's very small tolerance. So I don't want to take out and risk this part, if you know what I mean. So what we're going to do is remove this plate, then remove this wheel, and then we can safely take out this plate and reach the barrel underneath, and then see if we can what the wear is and if we can resolve that. Yeah, movement design, and well, just between us, because nobody's watching this stream, it's going to be one main plate, two balance wheels, and as because it's educational, we have to make more parts and more parts. The more parts you make, the more experience you get. So we're going to have some fun with some designs just for fun. And so we want to make one watch with at least 8 main barrels, just to get a huge power reserve. And we can make a main plate and use parts from vintage watches for that one. We're going to make one watch completely, every single part ourselves, no question. But in the meantime, we can have some fun with the tools, with the machines, to make a different configuration of the movement. We can add main barrels. Niet alles prijsgeven. Okay, I won't spill the beans, Edwin says. So, but we can have some fun in the whole process. So I would like to have a watch just for myself with a huge amount of main barrels, with an incredible power reserve, just for fun. And like I said, it's not commercial, it's educational. And we're probably going to stream quite a bit of the mistakes we are going to make, because we are going to make mistakes. And that's the learning curve. So for Fat Bertha, the jig borer from 1959, you saw the huge drill. I just found the perfect micro installation for fine drilling. And that's coming over now. Show it, well, like this, why not? That's the fine drill installation for the 1959 decal. Oh, this idea. It's not going to work. But you see, it's a compensated spantang. What's a spantang? Well, it's got weight compensation anyway here. So in order to make the smallest holes, but the jig borer, Fat Bertha, is got a digital readout they placed afterwards as an improvement, but it's just all manual settings. So in 1/1000th of a millimeter, you can decide where your hole is going to be. So that's super fine. And with a tiny drill, you can make main plates, no problem, with just that machine. And it's very simple. The heavier the machine, less vibrations, the smaller parts you can make. So Fat Bertha is, I think it was 1200 kilograms. It's over 2000 pounds. When it came from the truck here, it was too wide for the garden gate. So I went inside for an Allen key and straight back to the machine, and it sank into the pavement just because of the weight. It's huge. It is cast iron, yeah. So that's going to be a nice adventure this year. Oh, is het double? Nee, toch? Even kijken. Ja, het is een double wheel. Ja. Should be okay. Yeah, I can show Fat Bertha for tomorrow. Yeah, no problem. Okay, for the regular viewers, the question. This is the screw in the winding wheel. Is this particular screw, to loosen it, do I have to turn clockwise or anti-clockwise? And see how it's placed. Hey, Armazi! Excellent, Raoul. Normally, this winding screw is, to loosen it, you have to turn clockwise. But because it's off center, it cannot loosen itself while winding. So this particular one is just the regular thread. So it's just anti-clockwise. You're all right. Way too simple question. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can make it nice again. Because this just looks horrible. So, because I made some room with releasing this wheel, I could easily remove this wheel underneath without bending or taking any chances. Here is the sliding ring with way too much grease. And now, as you can see, because of the curve of this part, you see? Oil spill. We were talking about the emotes today, Patin, with Rico, and he's going to do his best. So, still hope. Do you see, due to the design of this part, this goes around this wheel, so I can lift this part without, well, risking bending this wheel, because we would like to have this part underneath here where the problem is. So it's just the safe way of working on it. of course, just about always, because there are multiple problems possible in the movement, we just about always opt for a full revision. Take it completely, disassemble it, clean it in a cleaning machine, and then part by part checking it and see if all problems are solved. Like I said earlier in the stream, but maybe not all the viewers seen it. This is a watch of a watchmaker friend of mine. So he just wanted me to spot the root cause, maybe solve it, but he's going to do the full revision afterwards anyway. So that's why the special requests, and that's why I'm not doing the full revision as usual. So this is a screw for the automatic module. Just remove this screw. This is the setting lever, but no screw. This is the click, so we can leave it as it is. Removed that screw and removed that screw. So now this plate is no longer secured, so we can lift it to find this main barrel here. There we go. Simply remove the plate. And Patin, we really do need the oil spill emote. It just creeps in between the plates. And now you can see this probably is the root cause of the lack of amplitude in this movement. And in a moment we can check if there's some play, sidewards play, here in the barrel. What's this? Ah. I think we have got a clue. You see, watchmaking is archaeology. And there's very visual the reason for the lack of amplitude in this beautiful Omega constellation. So underneath this main barrel, that's it, Patin. So underneath the main barrel, we see probably a shiny line where it was touching the main plate. That must be not that shiny. I thought it would be more visible. Oh, it is slightly. Maybe if I move it a bit like this. There you can see the shiny line. That's it. There the main barrel was touching here. this small line here. And well, the barrel is properly closed, because if the lid came off, it would have the teeth. Well, let's have a look. Don't seem like it. Seems okay. And maybe underneath, but no, I don't think so. And you can see the teeth are just in the top bit. And well, the multifunctional whiteboard tool is showing here is the touching of the main plate. And there are the teeth. So that's okay. And it won't be too visual now, but if we remove, well, why not? I'm going to remove the spring, then place back. First, I'm going to cover the main plate, the watch itself. So I'm going to clean it anyway, but better be safe than sorry. Then opening the barrel, you can see just the lid coming off now. You see? I just pushed there, and then you can see the lids coming off. The teeth has been made after sunburst design. I think you're absolutely right, Per. You're absolutely right, because the sunburst design is showing on the teeth as well. Cool. There we are. It seems to me a new mainspring has been fitted with a huge amount of oil on it. And it's an automatic movement. So I always put 2 tiny drops of HP 1300, but this is just, well, swimming in it. And I don't see too many traces of graphite grease. Or we've got a new one, the Kubler K10, K12. Really sticky, horrible stuff, but excellent grease for main barrels. The octa-core bear. I have to do my best, but I think it's the octa-core bear. Hi there. It's a very calm stream. Well, somebody called me the Bob Ross of watchmaking without the hair. And he might be right. But I don't have too many happy squirrels here. So, thank you, Mr. X's. I just removed the. There we go. The arbor. You can see the small hook here now on 12 o'clock, or well, 1 o'clock. There's a small hook, you see? And that's. There you see a square. So the hook is inside that square, and when you wind the watch, it'll rotate. RB3, hey, so nice of you to follow the stream, thank you. We're going to stream in some more irregular times, so if you follow the stream, you get a notification every time we go online. And today, well, it's watchmaking. My name is Kalle Slaap, and I'm a watchmaker here in the Netherlands. And we've been doing this stream for 2.5 years now. But tomorrow I'm going to work on a very special metal decorating tool from the 1940s. The Rose engine for guilloche. And yeah, to make, well, this is one I made earlier. Yeah, this kind of decoration. And yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, oké. That's nice. Ewout? Ewout, kan ik je even wat laten zien? Ik hou het netjes. De rits blijft dicht. Kijk, hier heb ik 1 keer ritsrats.
Ja.
En daarna 10 keer gedraaid. En daarna weer 2 keer. Dus 1 keer ritsrats ertussen. Dus tussen die en die heb je best wel veel beweging, zie je dat?
Ja.
Dus het is eigenlijk een ander patroon. 2 naast elkaar. Dan draaien met een paar ritsratsen ertussen. En dan weer 2 naast elkaar. Ander patroon.
Ja.
En dan krijg je die.
Maar dit was toch de bedoeling?
Dat was de bedoeling. Dan ga ik even kijken hoeveel ritsratsen er tussen die 2 moeten zitten.
Oké.
Maak een receptje. Maar dat kan de volgende keer ook nog. Well, this is way too many oil. And because we are going to clean the parts anyway, I'm going to remove the finger cuts. Dat is echt een drijft erin. En ik zie geen grafieolie. Ik zie die hele laag erop liggen.
Ja, helemaal glanzend.
Way too much. So now I'm going to remove the spring by just holding my fingers over it. And again, usually I use finger cuts or condoms because the acid and the salts on your finger will stain the surface of the metal, etch in it. But now I'm going to rinse this part in the alcohol immediately, so that's not going to be a problem. And now, hopefully gentle and in a controlled way, I'm removing the mainspring. Nee, binnen 10 minuten is gepiept. So here is the mainspring, and you can see the different shape. You see the curl here, and then it curls the other way around, a bit like that. And that's, you want an even distribution of power, force. So if you wind it in the morning completely full, it's full of power, but during the daytime the spring, well, gets a bit less. So this curve here is to distribute halfway the day a bit extra power, because with a complete with the same power in the whole day, you get the most accurate watch timepiece. And that's the original invention of the automatic watch, because the movement is always fully wound. That you don't have to wind your watch is nice, but it's not the reason why we want an automatic movement. Because it's linear power, thank you so much Mr. Axis. And the linear power, like in a clock, when there's a weight, it's always the same weight pulling at a chain. With an automatic movement, keeps the mainspring always fully wound up. So the real benefit of an automatic movement is not that you don't have to wind your watch. That's not relevant. It's a linear power curve, so you got a more accurate timepiece. That's the real reason why you want an automatic movement, or a movement with automatic winding. And there are not a lot of jewelers who can tell you that while you want to buy a watch and they want to help you with your decision. You want linear power, yeah. And the automatic winding system makes sure that the spring, that one, is always fully wound during when wearing the watch. So more accurate time reading. Well, let's see if we are right. That there is some play in the barrel. Again, I'm going to rinse it in alcohol in a moment, so don't freak out that I'm touching watch parts with my bare hands. Simply with your tweezer hold it like this, and now we can check if there's sidewards play, and there we are. This is the reason why the watch didn't have any amplitude, simply because of wear in the main barrel, and then it was moving like this, touching other parts, and all the power of the mainspring, well, goes into friction instead of powering the rest of the gear train. Booker T and the MGs in the background. It's cool. Green onions. So, oh, that's nice to see the sunburst. Hey, and here you can see. I'm not quite sure what this caused. And here you can see again, it was. This is some. Cleaned in a solution with way too much old oil in it, so it couldn't dissolve in the cleaning solution, so he should have changed his cleaning solution earlier. That's way too much. The lack of graphite, sure. Without the graphite grease, I wanted to say oil, but it is grease. No. This is just wear, but the lack of graphite grease isn't helping the power from the spring on the barrel, so the power on the gear train. So we do have to address that. Simple wear in a new barrel, or maybe we can reduce the size of the hole and refurbish this one. That would be nice. Yeah. Here is a ridge, quite high and sturdy and quite wide. And same here. So we are going to refurbish this barrel, make the hole a bit smaller, and then make it wide again. The regular viewers seen this many times. I do this with the staking tool, the tripniet. Make the holes way too small, as you know. Then with a broach, no reamer, because we're not removing material, but with a broach we're pushing back to the exact. There's no need horloge hobby. We can get it in perfect condition again, without removing material. There we go. So for me, that's it for today. It's very satisfying that we found a problem. And it's 11 o'clock p.m. Here in the Netherlands, about 50 kilometers north of Amsterdam. So, well, I promise you tomorrow a special stream in metal decorating with the rose engine, maybe even the straight engine. That would be nice. Again, please inform your watchmaking friends about the stream on coming Sunday, the 3rd of May on 3 o'clock p.m. Amsterdam time. That is going to be very special. I'm going to show and explain marine chronometers and tell a bit about from John Harrison and such a huge genius it was. So yeah, please inform your watchmaking friends on the stream on Sunday 3rd of May at 3 o'clock Amsterdam time. Again, thank you so much for watching. Really enjoyed this stream. And the new followers, at least Elder Goth, RB3 and Station 11. And of course Tiran and Solar for the bits. That was so nice. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for your input and your excellent questions tonight. Really enjoy that. Okay, well, stay safe, stay healthy. Hope to see you soon, well, tomorrow during the special stream on Guyoche. And definitely coming Sunday the 3rd on 3 o'clock Amsterdam time. Again, see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.